Hey, what's going on? What's going on? Hey, didn't realize I was on. Forgive me for picking my nose in front of everybody. For doing the Jeffrey Toobin. No, usually it's like, whatever. Technology, there's always something around. Always some new little wrinkle. They're always doing something different. Anyway, so it's Mr. Let's Paint. We're hanging out. I should get a screwdriver and fix this once and for all. Let me fix something. Be right back. We're going to fix something. I think I can fix it with this. All right. Just hanging out. I was working on a painting, a little commission, and because of that, I just finished, and because of that, I'm like celebratory, and then also burnt out on painting, which happens. That just happens. That's just the name of the game. As you could imagine, it's just the way it goes. So we're just going to hang out, regroup. All right. That's good. That's good. All right. Play around. We'll do a little play around. Little playtime. Okay, so I got the thing back on my thing here. Yeah, I painted a portrait this afternoon. I think it came out all right. I got the right amount, the right look, and so yeah, we're done. Now we're just hanging out. It's always good just hanging out, to hang out with you all. Nothing really terribly, no agenda from my point of view, so probably not worth watching. But then again, you just never know. We might come up with something. Have a good day, my man, says Luke. My man, Luke. My man, Luke. You have a good day, my man. Luke, have a good day, my man. What's up, brah? Hey, brah. My man. What's up, brah? Hey, brah. My man. Okay. Just having a little fun with the words. All right. Fantastic, Luke. Fantastic. All right. Well, things I have to do. I don't have to do anything, and now everything has been done, and now I just need to do something new, something else. What will we do? I don't know, but I have done what I needed to do. I am free. I am a free man. I am free. All of my obligations have been obliged. I have obliged all of my obligations. All right. Anyway, Mr. Let's Paint hanging out with you here tonight. Kind of chilly. It's just sort of all of a sudden last day, really kind of starting today. It got kind of cold. We have 68 degrees, which is actually not terribly cold, but after 100-degree days, 68 feels kind of cold. All right, so we're not really going to be doing anything but just hanging out. You want to ask any questions? I might answer if anything is of I feel if I might feel inclined to answer. Ask me anything, but I will not answer them all. That's how that. Yeah, ask me anything, but I will ignore quite a few questions. We just had a drop off of a lot of viewers. Did we just lose everybody? It just went down to 0. What happened? Are we still here? Seems like we lost everybody. No worries. No worries. Okay, we got somebody here. All right, here we got a question from the chat room. Favorite way to make popcorn? Wow. Well, I'll tell you my favorite way, actually, and it's a little messy, it's a little crazy, it's a little fun, but I do like to do it on the stove. But it does start popping everywhere, so it's a little hard to control, but I do enjoy that. Just have it start popping like that. But in lieu of that, the go-to way I like to do it is just with there's like a little popcorn maker gizmo, and it just makes the popcorn really sort of effortlessly. It's kind of like an air dryer popcorn maker. You know, it's like it heats. You know, it's a heater, and it just heats up the kernels. In a robust way, and next thing you know, you got tons of popcorn, and it's just kind of clean. You don't have to put any oil in. On the stovetop, you got to put some oil in, which, you know, again, no big deal. It's just a little more. It's just and how much of a mess? Just, you know, big deal. Popcorn going all over the place. I mean, it's not like, you know, something. You know, something like it's not like shit or something just gross. You know, it's popcorn. I mean, pretty harmless mess. You know, if you're gonna have a mess, you know, popcorn is really not it's not a problem. You know? Yeah. A lid when you do the stovetop, you know, in a pan would be your best bet. All right, hanging out with your chats here tonight, and other than that, I'm just kind of surviving another day, my friends. Another day. We have survived another day. Our heads are about to explode, but we're survived. We have survived. We will survive. We might survive. How many countries have I been into? Says Lily. That's a great question. Let me think. Okay, 2, 3. Do we count Do we count the United States or no? Okay, now take your time. Don't count the United States. What about flying into a country but you don't actually go to that country, but you're just in transit? Does that count? I'll wait for your response. Okay, so forget the United States in terms of being in other countries. Okay, so Japan, Australia, Mexico. Oh yeah, Peru, Canada. All right. Now that's everything on that side of the world. Now let's go over to Europe. Am I missing something over there? No. Okay, let's go over to Europe. Okay, so I've done a few countries in Europe, but I haven't done that many actually. Let's see. France, Switzerland. Do we get an answer if you fly in through a place? Does that count? Probably not, right? Okay. So let me do Europe again. Come back. Let's not include those. That doesn't count. I don't think that counts. Okay. Okay. Let's go Europe. France, Spain, Italy, Switzerland, Austria. So I've been to 10 countries, I believe. You're going to say no. Yeah, that's a no, says Sanzo. So I've been to 10 countries. 10 countries. I believe, if my math is literally... And the way things are, it looks like I'm not going anywhere. Sanzo's been to 27 countries. Oh my God. That's crazy. That's great. That's amazing. You are, do you have, and you're 27, do you know the word Wanderlust? Is that the term? Wanderlust? I might not even have the term correct. I'm mispronouncing it. Wanderlust. I think that's the term. Wanderlust. Okay, it is right. Yeah, that spells right. It just felt like I hadn't used the word. You know, it's like you ever get those words that you get and you just feel as though, well, you just haven't used the word in a long time. You haven't seen the word, spelled in any kind of writing anywhere, and you're just like, is that even a correct word, or am I mispronouncing it? That's entirely possible. So yeah, wanderlust. Sanzo has some serious wanderlust. And then there's these, of course, people that go. Their whole goal is to go to like every country in the world. And I know you see some of those people, like, I don't know, Facebook friends or people on Instagram, and you go, oh my God, you're going to all these countries. That's amazing. Now, a lot of countries I'm not so sure I would go to. That's because as free flowing as I am, there's a part of me that's like, I'm not sure I want to do that. You got 100 countries to go, says Sanzo. Have you gone to any countries during this COVID-19? Have you gone to any countries? You know what I mean? Because you're American, says Sanzo. My trepidation, my little concern. Well, we are bombarded with fear. This country, if you live in the United States, it's nonstop fear mongering on all fronts. It's just terrible. It's just not it's not a good place, really. When we get pumped with fear every direction, every which way, we're inundated with fear. With fear. But you know what's good on YouTube are those travel channels. These people, I am amazed at what some of these travel people do. They are going all over the place, and so occasionally I will watch some of them. I watched this one guy, and and it's interesting because they're still traveling, or at least some of them are. Actually, one or two of them you'll notice how they just dropped off from the face of Earth about 8 months ago. Like they're not traveling. They're just boom. That's it. No more exotic traveling for them. But there's some other people that actually are still finding a way to travel, or I don't know how they did it, or they're just whatever. But they're still putting out videos. And this one guy is in Colombia, and he was befriended a couple of Venezuelan ladies who were also in Colombia, but and I guess they had gone to Colombia to leave Venezuela because of all the, I guess, economic and political strife that's happening there. But then they got homesick and they wanted to go back. So they decided to go back, but because they had to go back during COVID times, he showed and documented how the process of the quarantine process of crossing the border from Colombia into Venezuela. I thought it was fascinating. Yeah, I've seen that guy, that bald and bankrupt guy. Yes, Sanzo, that's an interesting guy. Yeah, that's an interesting guy. No, this one was Ace. I think his name was Ace Ventura, or not Ace Ventura. Anyway, I should get his name for you. I don't have it for you. It's a black guy, nice guy. I think he's actually from Germany. He might be like a army brat. There's a lot of American, people that grew up overseas in U.S. American bases, like in Germany and particularly, to name a few, but I guess in other countries too. So I think that's what this guy is of that. I got the gist that's where he was. That's how he operates. How because of his where he came from and who he is. Wait a second, that's somebody else. Wait, am I thinking of somebody else? Oh, I was watching somebody else. That is somebody else. No, this guy. Wait, this guy also was a black guy, but I don't know who. Wait, I'm getting the names. Anyway, there's quite a few of them. They're really kind of interesting. Then there's a couple that's in Mexico. They're Americans, I believe. They're both Americans, but they've decided to live in Mexico. And they put out a lot of videos. And it's just endless. These travel bloggers. It's pretty interesting. The fear will decrease. When I was a kid growing up, I remember it's kind of going back to the way it is back then, in terms of if by chance you were to go to another country, you would hear people say, well, you would hear them say, yeah, you would kind of lie and you'd say you're from Canada, just because the animosity towards the United States is pretty I don't think I would ever do that, but you might, you could see why people might do that because of the sort of the, sort of the hate that has been, the hate that what is being put forth by this country, or at least perceived. Let's just keep it there. Perceived, though. It's a weird. We have this election coming up, so. Tell us about when you were 24. When I was 24, it was a very good year. When I was 24, I don't know. 24. Well, I was 24. What can I say? It was good times. I don't know. It's always good times. There's always a laugh. I think we always have laughs. There's always laughs. There's always a laugh to be had, but in the mix of that, there's always some kind of like either mental or physical turmoil, I believe, that one has to grapple with, at least at times, and so I think in any year that you're whatever year it is for you, age-wise, I think that's just the way it goes. I think there's laughter. Laugh till you die, but there's also sorrow, or at least maybe some depression, or it can't always be good times all the time. I guess you could go good times all the time, but I think you might extinguish yourself because of it. But in that sense, maybe you do go out like a ball of fire, and party on. It's an option. Not really sure exactly where that goes. That kind of if that's that could be the route you want to take, is possibly you might want to consider. Just not allow for anything awful to be to come through or filter through your rose-colored glasses, and just seek happiness and laughter. And if you can't achieve that, then maybe seek out some form of substances that could augment and help your quest for happiness and fulfillment. No, I don't. I take that back. I just said it, but I don't think it. I think if you were in the pursuit of happiness, I don't think you would necessarily limit your horizons or your possibilities based on the use of substances. That's probably gonna limit. There's other things, such as dancing, my friends, dancing. Well, what about dancing? In fact, I'm itching to dance. I've been itching to dance, and the only thing that's stopping me from dancing is all this stuff in front of me, and so I gotta figure out, gotta move the stuff out and start dancing, and maybe we'll do some dancing this week. Right? It's a possibility. It's always a possibility. Dancing, painting. Painting can be fun. I find that, though, the problem with painting and the problem with playing music, in terms of being happy from it and being, somehow satisfied with the fun factor, is that it also is frustrating, and so then it's not fun anymore. So then it kind of stops you in your place. You have to put the right kind of thinking, put the right thinking cap on sometimes when it comes to these kind of various, all forms of, I guess, potential happy mode ingredients that may or may not be of help. But if you're not approaching it, and of course there's no right way to approach the external that happiness quotient. So there's no right way to get to that, no way to achieve it. It's an individual approach. But there's no right way to feel satisfied in whatever endeavor that you are finding from your, in your heat-seeking approach. Does an audience make expression easier? Maybe. I think it can be, but but it also can be overwhelming and maybe, and then it will, then you won't go back to it. See, so I guess going back to that idea of whatever endeavor that you may seek for, maybe eternal bliss, eternal happiness, whatever it is, music, dance, rock and roll, painting. If you overthink it, or you listen to somebody such as myself, if you listen to me, it might not be the right kind of information for you. That's going to kind of, you're not going to necessarily benefit. Some other people will, but that's just it. Other people will benefit from what I'm saying right now, but quite a few will not. Quite a few will be. I will just leave you in a maybe depressed and forever frustrated with the possibilities of a creative, happiness through creativity or expression and all that. So somewhat there's always a chance that you're going to be misled, and I could be misleading you right now. I could just be a sheep in wolf's clothes. Okay, I clearly screwed that one up. All right. Well, so anyway, those are some great. So, does audience make an expression? I going back to that, I didn't really answer that, but it does. Knowing that people like if there was no one watching this, me hanging out, I probably wouldn't be talking so much. I probably wouldn't be inclined to say anything. I probably would not even stream. So the fact that there's a couple of people hanging out, it somewhat encourages you to keep talking or keep doing whatever you're doing. All right. Good times. What is a good way to develop social skills? Waylon asks. Well, just right off the top of my head, I would say take an improv class. What is this? A good question, says Sanzo. Yeah, it is. That is kind of a heavy. That's a heavy duty, good times, good question. That's a good question. But just off the bat, my first thought would be take an improv class, and that will make you more social around other human beings. Also, take public transportation. Get on the bus and sit next to various people, like total strangers, you know what I mean? That's always good. You don't have to talk to them, just do it. But besides that, I would consider taking improv classes, because that would make you explore things that you might not have thought or tried, and it would give you your I benefited. I'll just say I benefited from taking that kind of class. I kind of wish I didn't. I kind of wish I didn't. No, I kind of wish I did take that kind of class, like say in elementary school or junior high school or high school, or even college. And no, I ended up taking that kind of class when I was 24. No, maybe. No, more like 28 or so. I don't know. I took the class when I was a lot older than when I was younger, at least in terms of that I would have benefited, possibly, definitely, maybe, definitely, maybe, definitely, no, maybe, had I taken it earlier. So there you have it. All right, taking your questions here, hanging out. Mr. Let's Paint, Monday. Not much, not terribly, not much of an agenda here today. We just turned on the camera and we're just hanging out. So. Like I said, I did a little painting this afternoon, and I focused. I put my effort, my best effort into it. And I feel good about the painting, so it's done. It's done, and we'll go for the next one. Have I been watching the Dodgers? No. I'm not a Dodgers fan, and that's just the way it goes. I'm not a fan of any LA sports team except for the Raiders, which of course are in Las Vegas now, but they were for about 10 years they were in Los Angeles, but and then prior to that they were in Oakland, and then they moved back to Oakland. Now they're in Las Vegas. But I follow the Raiders, but I don't even care about them so much because they always lose. If I only have if I have only months to live, what shall I do? Sansa. Just maybe overdo it on things you like. Like if you like to drink red wine, drink about 2 or 3 bottles. Not that that's going to make you feel good, but definitely drink more, than you would. Eat more ice cream if that's what you like. I mean, in terms of that, maybe maybe explore other things that you might want to possibly abuse, or stuff like that. I guess I'm just kind of just keeping it in the food department, but I guess I don't know. I mean, whatever you thought of wanting to do, just. Now there's always that great story of someone being told that they only have a few months to live, and then they decide to just like party or do all this stuff that travel and stuff, and then lo and behold they discover that they're not going to die or something, or through them partying or having such a great time, whatever ailment was going to kill them has left the body. There's a few movies like that, I think. Not very enlightened. Something more purposeful, says Sansa. Wow, okay, well, let me think here. Let's see. So if you were going to die, what would you do that seemed like, that you like made a mark, if that's what you're looking to make a mark on your fellow human beings as you, is that what you're thinking? Is that important to do in the first place? Is that really what's that? I'm not sure that has any. There's nothing very. I don't see that. I don't see the validity of that. That's like a big zero in my thought comprehension. The idea that you're somehow leaving this world and that you're going to try to, and before you leave, you help this world out. Or I don't know. What's that? I don't get that. Leave the world better than you left it. I get the idea that if you go to a campsite and you see some garbage that wasn't yours, you pick it up and you proceed to throw it in the garbage can, and so you leave the campsite cleaner than what it was. Okay, I get that, and so maybe in that sense you treat life that way, but honestly, it's I think that idea that that everyone is on this earth to try to make it better, and if you're not in that position and you didn't make it better, then your life is a waste and it's worthless. I think that there's a lot to be said about existing and getting through it without feeling like you got to do anything. I think there's too much. Well, not too much. Maybe there needs to be more, frankly. But the fact that you didn't do nothing and then you die is it's okay. Is what I'm trying to say. In a roundabout way, that's all I'm getting to. I'm not, but the same on the same token, by all means, try to help out our fellow humans, our fellow Earth, whatever whatever this is. This could all be just a dream. This is all just a dream. But, possibly. It's possibly just all a dream. How about that? Take that. Hey man. Hey man. What do you think about the concept of death of the author? To what extent should art be judged based on the context of its creation and the author's perspective? I don't know. I can't. I'd have to think about that one. That's a little too heavy for me at this point in time. Time and place, buddy. Time and place. Take it outside. Take that. Take this. You want to take this outside? Take this outside. Okay. Okay. Follow up. Scarf says, when you make something and put it into the world, is it still yours? Okay. I can at least nibble on that. I can bite into that one. Good question. That's a question that I can possibly try to answer, and the answer is yes, it is. It is always yours. How about this? Talk about life and death. Think about someone like Ben Franklin. I know no one talks about Ben Franklin, but I like to bring him up. Ben Franklin. Of course, he brought about the post office. He's the father of the post office. I don't know if worldwide he was the father of the post office, but here in the United States he was the first post office. Not that that's his most memorable thing, but he was quite the human being in a sense. I think he kind of discovered electricity, or did I get it, or whatever? I don't know. He did a lot of weird stuff, a lot of great stuff, But what happened to Ben Franklin? Just anyone know what happened to Ben Franklin? I'm just gonna ask you out loud, just to the whole world, what happened to Ben Franklin? Waiting. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. All right. He died. Exactly. He died. Did he die of syphilis? But now, yeah, you guys a little delay here on the response. But yes, he died. Regardless of how he died, I didn't know he died of syphilis. I think he was quite the ladies' man. But anyway, he died, as we all die. And and even if there is reincarnation, if you want to talk about reincarnation, think about that. Reincarnation. We have reincarnation. What if that's really the case? Well, Ben Franklin, even if he was to reincarnate, he cannot come back in as a baby and then grow up and say, look, I'm Ben Franklin, I'm Ben Franklin, yeah. Take that. And I want all the just rewards. I want to lay claim to everything that Ben Franklin did, because I am the reincarnation. Well, maybe that's the Dalai Lama. That's what the Dalai Lama does. That's what they play that game. Maybe that's what we could do with all of us. We should all just do that. I am the reincarnation of Genghis Khan. I don't know. I just don't know how that works. But so with that in mind, you can't take anything that you're created on this earth, and any successes that you create on this earth, You don't take it with you. I mean, yeah, potentially people will always connect you to potentially whatever you came up with or whatever you made. But at some point, people don't care who you are anymore. They either appreciate whatever you did one way or the other. But I guess in some cases, the name of whoever that was sticks, but it doesn't always stick. I think it's just an individual. It's case by case. It's case by case. Okay, Sanzo said what I was going to say, but I was trying to be polite and not I refrained from but you saw where I was headed. All right. Anyway, one more week left of our this election that we have here in the United States. I don't know how many people are watching that are in the United States and stuck in this sort of holding pattern that we've sort of been in for the past 4 years. Hopefully, it will be sort of released. Hopefully we get out of it. At least that's my hope, and I think hopefully a majority of us. But sadly, that was the case last time. But we have this thing called the Electoral College that you grow up being taught about how that's actually good, but you can see how it doesn't always work out, so. But on the same token, true democracy where everyone just, majority vote wins, that's always problematic too. So it's sort of like, because then there's ways to manipulate that. So, but maybe it's probably better. I don't know. All right. Ben Frankenstein. It just comes down to like 3 or 4 states that are like these. That make the big difference, and it's really, you pump up all these various concerns in the way they do, politics, policies, and scare tactics, and I guess these people, they're fair-weathered voters. They just the fear. There's a lot of fear. A lot of these people, we were talking about how many countries you visited, and I came up with 10. Well, a lot of these people have never left this country, and they don't plan on ever leaving this country. But that's the case with a lot of countries. A lot of people in every other country are the same. They just don't leave. They don't leave, and that's the problem, really, in a way. And that's the problem with humanity, is we just don't. We don't. Interact with our fellow human beings or various nationalities and religions and races, and we're really good at becoming. We're really good at this whole. I mean, it's just sort of a built-in thing, isn't it? I guess it's a the A-E-I-O-U. It's the clubs. It's like these clubs, and it's just on a larger scale, clubs and groups. It's but you think back into caveman times and whatever. I mean, that just makes sense. All that made sense. I just don't know if that makes sense anymore. That kind of game of tribalism. That's the word, that is a word to be used that I should have used 2 minutes ago. Tribalism. And but I don't know if we don't need that anymore, and we haven't needed that probably for a long time. Do you think we can change? Isn't it kind of coded into our DNA? Yeah, well, probably so. Definitely, it's entirely possible. Now, the only good thing, or potentially good thing, is the whole nurture versus nature. Nurture versus nature, and a lot to be said about the nurturing. Of just being around people that are of not of your say culture, race, religion, whatever you want to call it. But there's just so much to be learned and benefited from being with other races and religions and the whole, whatever you want to call it. So nurture is important, and then nature will adapt. But yes, nature would, without the nurture, would, I think, continue the segregation of humans, So I might be explaining that. I probably am saying it wrong, but I'm onto something, aren't I? Maybe not. Actually, I could be completely wrong. I'm sure someone's gonna point. Was Bob Ross a force of nature or a force of nurture? Well, a force of nurture. He was a force of nurture. He may, in his personal life, may have been someone that could have possibly been, who knows? I don't really know his personal life, but the projection of his life that he puts forth on his show is one of nurture, and that possibly, I would say, would be a good thing. However, I have issues with the Bob Ross show, but that's my own battle. That's my own issues. Do I like Diogenes? I don't know what that is. I'm not familiar with that word. I don't think I've ever seen that word in my entire life. How many steps did I? Trying to do 10,000. Port wine? No. No. You're in Portugal, right? Don't they have a lot of port wine there? 87. I still need to go a little further to get to 10,000 steps. No, it's just like just a red wine. Just a regular red wine. It's kind of tasty though. I like it. Greek philosopher, yeah. Yeah, I always heard those stories about, I don't know, was it Plato or Socrates? I gotta say, I always combine the two or I combine the two, or I just think of them as the same. But I always heard those stories of one of them, or maybe both, whatever. Did they ever meet each other? Probably not. But I always remember that story, or I heard the story where one of them would just stay up all night just drinking wine and just talking and all that stuff. Kind of good times. Am I a morning bird or more of a night owl, I think. Yeah. More of a night owl. I tend to go slow in the morning, but I'm always amazed that if need be, I can get going in the morning if need be, but I just tend to sleep in. Socrates, the drunk, says Sanzo. Okay, so Socrates. Always liked that idea. I always kind of connected to that idea because it is kind of fun to, I have a few glasses of wine or beer or whatever it is, and hypothesize and theorize, teary-eyed, theorize various stuff that's out there. The mosquitoes have, I think they're in hibernation now. I believe mosquitoes are in hibernation now. Because though I did get bit the other day. Read. Just tell me it. I don't want to read it. No, I'm not going to read it. I'm not going to read stuff. I don't like being told to read anything, for one. I like have a block. Anytime anyone tells me to read something, I go, bump. I'm not I'm not going to read whatever you told me to read. Just tell me in right, Travis? Someone tell me to read something. Oh yeah, I'm gonna just go read all this some long book. Yeah, read. What's that one from James Joyce? What's that one? That's famous book. That's like gigantic. What's that called? I don't know. Civil War something. I don't know. Whatever. War and Peace. Yeah. Read War and Peace. That's good. Yeah, read that. Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, that'd be good. I think that'd be good for you. Read War and Peace. I'll tell you one book I did enjoy reading, and that was Bukowski's The Postman. And the reason why I liked reading it is because It didn't take long to read. I was able to read it well, I didn't actually read the whole book, but I read about half of it. I got the gist of it all. Yeah, and it didn't take forever, these books, they can take forever. And so, anyway. Give me the Cliff's Notes. I would have been really bad if I went to schools, colleges where you had to read these various things, such as novels and books, and I would have been Mr. Cliff's Notes for sure. I would have just. Anyway, I'm not reading any of that stuff. But thanks for the tips. Thanks for anyone else is into reading, please do so. Though I would possibly maybe watch a movie about the books that you mentioned. I'd give it a shot. So if it's in movie form, let me know. And if it's on Netflix, let me know. Watch. All right, let me know what I'm supposed to watch. There. Touché. Looks kind of boring though. I got a feeling that's going to be boring. Boring. All right. So, yeah. What are we gonna do with our new freedom? What are we gonna do with our new found freedom? Freedom. How about some David Hasselhoff singing freedom? On the Berlin Wall there. That's pretty classic. No, I have not done a Halloween painting. I don't think I'm going to either. I'm just going to let current events slip by. Oh yeah, the jacket, right, Travis? With the lights on it. Freedom, I'm feeling the freedom. Yeah, I should do the cover of Freedom, David Hasselhoff. I got to do that. I should do that. Okay, let me write that down. That's a possible thing to do. Got a lot of things we could do. Probably won't, but we'll just write it down as a possibility. I'd have to put some. I have to get some lights on my jacket too. I'd have to get some lights and get a light jacket. Okay, I'm feeling that idea. I like that idea. That's a good idea. It took us an hour to get a really great idea. we went through. We talked about Socrates and whatever, life and death, and we summed it up with David Hasselhoff's singing about freedom on the Berlin Wall. Because that's what it gets down to. That's what it gets down to. It is freedom, our freedom of existence as human beings. While we're here on this planet. Why are we here? Why are we here while we are here? Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Why are we here while we are here? Look at that. It's the same. It's almost the same, but it's different. It's fascinating. It is fascinating. It is fascinating. Life is fascinating, isn't it? All right, so just recapping for today's show. It's Monday. And I already did my painting for the day, and I'm already painted out, and so I'm just sort of kind of happy hour hanging out with you guys, and that's good. I enjoyed that. I enjoy that immensely. But in the middle of that, in the midst of that, we got really deep philosophical stuff going on here, and on top of it, we just got a wonderful idea. So I want to thank you from the bottom of my shoe. I want to thank you for hanging out, and even though it seems as though it's just sort of seems as though I really am just talking to myself, there is actually some form of interaction text-wise, and that's in this day and age with this virus. That's the way to go. It's safe. We're safe. We are all safe. You know, no one got contracted any any infections and infectious diseases by us hanging out here tonight. So that's good. That's a good thing. Freedom. I feel freedom. I gotta watch that. I don't know what. I have to do some research. Do some freestyling, says Gabriel. I want to do freedom, but I need to get I need to think about that, and I need to watch some David Hasselhoff right now. But the only thing is I can't do that with you guys watching, because then we'd be doing copyright infringement. It's a big pain in the ass. It's cutting into my creativity. Yeah, you can drop the link, but I can't play it because then it gets all copyright infringement. So I'll watch it later, yeah. No, I will. No, I'm thinking maybe I might have to reenact, do a cover of that song, you know. Anyway, it was good hanging out. I'll just say it was good hanging out with you guys. I don't know if we're going to be here much longer, but if we were, you know, I bet you that jacket is probably worth $100,000. That jacket, or more. I bet you that jacket is hanging in like the Berlin Wall Museum in Berlin. You know, if there is one, it's probably hanging. If I had the opportunity to be in space for a month, would I do it? If I could paint, I would definitely consider it. But I'd have to know. Again, I'm always worried about various things, and I'm somewhat. I know I have experienced claustrophobia, and so I'm not so sure. You know, I'm really going to be up for like wearing some kind of various space suit. You know, I need things more. I need freedom. I don't like being restricted, so I'm not so sure it's for me at the moment. It's kind of like working on doing computers and stuff back in like 1980, 81, 82, 83, you know, because computers were around back then, but they were not easy to work with, and you had to know, you know, DOS and all this, you know, code, and it was not convenient. And so it's only for a few special souls that can handle that kind of nonsense. And so yeah, not until they make it nice and easy will I be going to outer space. I need the red carpet for me to lay it out for my ass to be going to outer space. You know, I don't want to be like wearing, you know, yeah. Okay. So it's a maybe. I'll give you a maybe on that. Yeah, you know, okay, Travis, you said it would be a month and you'd be screaming for the whole month. However, I believe that, you know, again, fear only can last for a certain amount of time, and so it really you at some point you get over it. So just keep that in mind. Whatever encounter you have, the fear will dissipate at some point, usually after about 45 minutes. Now you probably have to. Maybe it's Groundhog Day for you, and every day you know, after you take a nap, you come back to it, and it's like fear again. But that's a different story. But overall, it is a, you know, these kind of fears that you might have is a 45-minute kind of operation, and then your fear subsides. So just keep that in mind. You'll be okay. You'll be okay. Everything's going to be all right, guys. You're going to be all right. Just handle the white knuckles of 45 minutes, and you'll be all right. Okay. That's me. I'm out of here. Thanks again for hanging out and hearing me talk to myself. And we'll try to give it another go tomorrow on Let's Paint TV. Thanks again for hanging out. Bye-bye.